Europe's largest visual effects artist on YouTube, and he taught himself special effects using YouTube tutorials from the age of 12 and gained production experience working in television for 4 years before focusing on his channel. Welcome, Brom Brandon Max. Welcome to India. Welcome to Mumbai.
Lovely to be here, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hope we'll take a cue from you, all of us, all right? Moving on, we have Mr. Raghav Anil Kumar. He's founder of Shutter Authority. And Mr. Raghav Anil Kumar leads Shutter Authority. How many subscribers? 4.89 million. Film Vertical. He's a channel dedicated to teaching high-quality visual effects, VFX as we call it, and filmmaking. Raghav has collaborated with major brands like Google, Electronic Arts, NVIDIA, and LG on professional VFX projects and shares his expertise through tutorials and podcasts on topics like creating viral content and the future of real-time VFX. Welcome, Raghav, to Mumbai. Excellent.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Great to have you. Well, we have Mr. Unmesh Shidinda with us. Yes, Unmesh, you are the creator behind Pix Imperfect and 5.3. I get goosebumps. Million subscribers. Oh my God. I'm tempted to myself come on YouTube, you know. Technology Vertical. He's renowned for simplifying complex Photoshop techniques. His educational content has been featured by Adobe, Wacom, for Stoppers, and Petapixel, among others. Unmesh is also an instructor at major industry conferences like Adobe Max, Shutterfest, and Photoshop World. Excellent. Great to have you, Unmesh. Wonderful.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
And we have a woman power with us. We have Achina Maya. Ms. Achina Maya is an Indian content creator, entrepreneur, and educator sharing insights on tech, business, and personal growth. She's the co-founder and CEO of Avalon Labs, an education and gaming company. And Achina was an invited speaker at Google's International Women's Day 2024 event and authored a guest column for Hindustan Times on social media toxicity. Oh my God, can social media be toxic? Welcome, Achina, welcome. And I dare not forget, I don't need AI. We have with us our moderator, Ajay Vidyasagarji, and guiding YouTube's efforts across Southeast Asia and emerging markets, Mr. Ajay Vidyasagar drives strategic partnerships across digital media landscape. He's a seasoned executive. He previously held key roles at Star TV, spearheading launches like Kaun Banega Crorepati, and was COO at Sun TV Network. Now, I'm rendered speechless after this, so I will not speak at all. And over to you, Ajayji, for the moderation, and let's get going right away.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that very generous introduction. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Lovely. One important fact she missed telling you is that all of these wonderful people collectively have about 25 million subscribers. Yesterday, Google, my CEO, Neil Mohan, announced that the world's largest statesman on YouTube is Prime Minister Narendra Modi at 25 million subscribers. Sitting here is equal number of subscribers in the VFX and the AI business. So huge, huge round of applause to an incredible panel here. I should also tell you one more secret. I have 74 subscribers. That's pretty much my family. So I feel so much like a student this afternoon. And I've come here to learn how do these people create this magic with AI and VFX. So I want to take 2 minutes before I really want to hand over the mic to all of them. I promise you there is nothing that's worth your time to listen from me. But the context, I think, is important. Over the last couple of years, there's such an extraordinary amount of debate and editorial about the power of AI and VFX. And India actually is a country that has seen the youth of India demonstrate an extraordinary amount of interest in artificial intelligence. We also constantly get told from a lot of Indians through a lot of research that we see that one of the few areas that AI may not really help have a deeper impact is storytelling, which is all about human connections and human emotions. And really the craft of creativity and storytelling is about human beings actually creating that magic. Now, when you think of these, there is clearly a conflict in these two pieces. But sitting here are a set of experts who really are telling us, how do you really make magic with the power of AI? So that's I think, the context in which we should think about the next 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to actually just go from Achina onwards to all of the panelists here. For this group, this is a very diverse group, deeply interested in what you're doing. Could you take a couple of minutes and tell us how are you doing what you do with the impact that she so wonderfully explained to this entire group? How are you bringing the power of AI to storytelling?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here, first of all. So talking about AI, apart from the channel I run, that's AVTV, we also have a media company that's called EOS, where we push out 100 videos on a day-to-day basis. And that has only been possible because of the two AI tools that have come about in the last 1 year. We've been very strategically using AI as a creative partner, whether it's ideating, whether it's storyboarding, whether it's researching, scripting, creating visual assets, or even thumbnails. I feel like AI can be a great superpower for every single creator out there. Mostly when people start out with content, it's a very lonely solo process. But with AI, you have a thumbnail maker at hand, you have a script writer at hand, you have somebody you can ideate with, somebody you can throw ideas at, and who will give you equally good ideas. Yeah. So that's how we've been using AI through every step of the content creation process.
And so you fundamentally helping AI to enhance a level of creativity and then jump to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it has helped us create more quantity while making sure that we are able to uphold the quality of content that we want to push out. So it's really reduced the time it takes to create the same quality of content.
Lovely. Thank you. Unmesh, tell us the magic of what you do.
Good evening to the incredible people here. Am I audible at the back? Everything so clear? So I have been teaching Photoshop for a long time. I started using Photoshop when I was 8 years old, and I've been teaching that exactly for 8 years. My channel is completing 8 years very, very soon. And no, that doesn't make me 16. As far as AI is concerned, what can I say? You never know. Whatever I'm saying right now, I may have looked that up in ChatGPT, or maybe the questions you're asking may have been from ChatGPT. We're not sure. I'm just kidding. But a lot of us are using AI as the almighty assistant, and I'm no exception. Whether when you have YouTube brand deals and you want a second look at the contract, you give it to AI. Or you need some ideas for a new video, you give it to AI. You need some editing done on the AI side, you need some assets, you use AI. Or finally, maybe you need some ideas on when it comes to publishing. And one thing that I use from time to time, let's say you're publishing an article or a video, and you're confused about what title will get the most clicks and attention, you can ask AI, all right, give me 10 suggestions of what I'm about to do. And then when you have those 10 suggestions, I ask for, all right, rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. Then I have an even greater idea. So I use it in every aspect of content creation and beyond, even in business as well. And we can get to that later.
Beautiful. Raghav, you should go next.
My name is Raghav, and I have a YouTube channel where I make action videos that feature a lot of visual effects. So it's basically like things that you would see in a big blockbuster movie. A lot of monsters and robots and different kinds of worlds and all of that. And I'm trying to do all of that by myself at home with a few friends of mine. And I've been doing this for a long time. I started my YouTube channel in 2006, before even Google bought YouTube. And so I've really started with very primitive tools with VHS camcorders and have seen how technology has evolved. And now we're at a stage where it's like, hey, I look at a movie scene and it's like, hey, that is really cool. For the longest time, it was completely unapproachable to someone like me. But now it's like, hey, I think we can actually at least attempt that. And yeah, so AI it's a very small word, but there's so much that falls under it. There are lots of technical tools, and there's also generative AI tools where you just type and get a cool result out of it. But there are lots of very technical things that would probably be very boring for this talk. But yeah, like things like cutting somebody out of a video, like instead of doing it by hand, you do just one frame and the rest of the video is taken care of by the AI. Like that is of great value.
Beautiful. Thanks, Raghav. Brandon, I want to quickly frame what you're going to say slightly differently before I pass the mic to you. You know, United Kingdom has 32 million people. Brandon has about 16 million subscribers. So 1 in every 2 people in that country, theoretically, wakes up every morning and gets told hi by Brandon. So, I follow your channel quite often, and the way you push creative boundaries is something that I keep feeling very curious about. And I'm going back to the core of this question that we started the debate with. Creativity and storytelling and AI, are they 2 separate pieces? How do you see them actually coming together?
Hello, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. First of all, thank you for the lovely intros. It's a really interesting question, and it's something I think about non-stop. Honestly, in short, I think I'm a little bit bored of the conversation of AI. Not because AI isn't incredible, it's not because it's not going to change all of our lives, because it's distracting us from the real conversation. And the real conversations for all of us as creators is actually, how do we tell great stories? You see, I think the one thing that everyone keeps forgetting is AI doesn't tell great stories. It doesn't make the great stories. It's you guys that do. It's us as the creators. AI is just another tool that we've got in our arsenal, like Nuke, like Blender, like After Effects, like Photoshop. And it's a tool to help us create the story. But the reason audiences watch the videos we make isn't because they're obsessed with the technical prowess of how we got there. They watch it because they want to be immersed in an awesome story. And that's the key thing that we need to get back to and talk about exactly how do we get to the best story that we can possibly tell. Chances are AI is going to help us on the way there. But that is not the objective. The objective is to entertain and engage.
Lovely. Actually, I think that's a beautiful segue into getting into one of the more core parts of this debate. What do you see over the next 1 or 2 years as to what an AI-powered creator will become? What is it today? What do you see it manifesting into? Brandon, you could go into that as a good segue.
So I think the reason I'm very passionate about AI, and I think it's an incredible opportunity, is because of the democratization of access. When I think about Hollywood and the shots that we spend so long like staring at and going, oh, I dream of one day making things as cool as that. Now, Hollywood's working with teams of maybe 2,000 to 3,000 artists per movie. And then you look at our little studios. I've got a cute little team of 30, but per video, we're probably only assigning 2 or 3 artists per shot at max. And then we're looking at these big Hollywood shots, and we go, my dream is to make that. Now, no spoiler, unfortunately, I don't have millions to spend, and I can't assign 2,000 to 3,000 artists per shot. So we've got to find out how we can kind of cut these corners and work out how we can still achieve that look as cool as what they're doing, but in our much, much smaller world. Now, that's an example in my scale. I completely understand that most creators don't even have a team of 2, 3 people they can assign to shots. Let's go a layer beneath. We're now entering a world where any storyteller that wants to jump into the space and start creating stories have so many incredible complete generation models where they can jump straight into the storytelling part of the equation without having to worry about the technical skill. I'm sure one thing we can all relate with, when we all one day woke up and we went, at 8 years old, for me it was 12 years old, and woke up and went, hey, I want to tell stories to the world. It was like, okay, well, before you do that, you need to learn hardcore software for the next 5 years just to be able to produce one video. The next generation of storytellers get to jump straight in from the story. I think over the next decade, we're about to see the world's greatest storytellers emerge from all across the world, not just the New Yorks, the LAs, the Hollywoods, maybe the Londons as well, all across the globe, because suddenly where you're located doesn't restrict the access to the stories you can tell. And with, of course, YouTube being the largest platform on people's TVs, we've got our distribution for free to tell our stories on the world's biggest stage.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you said it beautifully. I completely agree. I don't have much to add, but yeah, I would just make more videos, make the videos that I've always wanted to make, and I'm sure it opens doors to people who are starting out, and that's about it.
I just wanted to add to that the barrier to entry is definitely coming down. As Brandon said, you don't have to learn a lot of skills to get into the storytelling part. And how many of you, just wanted to ask out of curiosity, how many of you are just getting started with content creation? Or have like less than, first of all, applause for that. Applause to you. As you are starting out, or especially when you're starting out, you're a solo creator. You don't have a lot of teams to work with. What AI can help you with is be a part of your team. A part of AI can be a part of your scripting process. A part of AI can be your research and ideation process. A part of AI can also be your editing process. And going forward into the future, the editing with AI is going to get only better. You're going to get professional studio visuals out of simple cameras. Everything is going to be streamlined, and you wouldn't need a lot of team to pull something together. That's what I see as the future of AI.
So one of the reasons I started doing content was educating my audience. And over time, I realized that the whole process of creating content, at least for me and my teams, after a point of time, it does get exhausting. You know, you have to keep pushing out more scripts, more videos. You have to shoot every single day. And I feel like a lot of people, especially those who are working, they may not want to pursue content creation as a full-time gig, and they are probably only doing it after hours, after they're done with their work. So I feel like how AI helped us there was a lot of the short-form content that we push out on our platforms now is done essentially using our AI avatars or our my AI-trained voice. So essentially the way we go about it is if I find something interesting, or if I find, let's say, an article or a piece that I want to create content about, or just some story that I want to tell, I just send a voice recording to these AI tools. It writes the script for me. That goes to my team. And then my team essentially uses the AI avatar that we have created and the AI voice that we have created, which is essentially me itself. And then they create that content without me having to show up every single day. So we're still able to educate the audiences. We're still able to put out the message that we want to share with the audience without sometimes going through the physical toil of shooting every single day. So that's how it's like really benefiting us.
Terrific. I want to just quickly jump into a lot of what you said was really about how you leverage the richness of the toolkit that AI provides you. There's a lot that's come out into the market over the last 12, 24 months. Given how prominent your work is, I want to actually start with you, Brandon. Could you talk to us about one or two deeply practical experiences where you've used AI to do something very transformative? And if you could share with this group one or two examples of what has been your most exciting piece of work that you've actually leveraged the richness of AI.
So I think I'd kick off, of course, with VO. So VO, for anyone that doesn't know, is Google's video generation model, and it is absolutely stunning. There was a period of time where I think all of the different companies working on Gen Video were all kind of competing with who could get their video model out first and best. And there was this day where I think OpenAI dropped theirs, and I think it was the next day Google dropped VO, and it just blew everything out the water. I think there was this common complaint with AI that, that gen models are like lifeless and soulless. And then suddenly VO2 came out. Keep in mind, we're on VO3 now. VO2 came out, and everyone went quiet. And suddenly, everyone went, this is the future. So I'm going to go with VO on that one. Where we're at right now today with VO, I'm very excited for VO 3, which we're about to get access to with updated UI controls. But VO 2 at the moment, it just gives you a solid video. Now, for us as creators, we need to have that sort of high control over the content. And a lot of the time, we want to shoot our own live action footage on top of it. So we're using it quite a lot at the moment for background extensions. If we want to shoot the scene around us in the foreground, we just have to build quite a small set, which doesn't cost as much money. Then everything in the background and onwards, we will generate using VO, creating some stunning visuals that then using Nuke or After Effects, we track into the scene, which pieces it all together.
I've used AI recently to achieve things that were very hard to do with traditional methods. So a recent example is I had a shot that had to be relit. So to change the lighting, we just usually like draw masks in areas where you want to make it brighter and then fake the shadows and so on. But now you have depth models, so which can actually just give a depth map of a video. So it sort of actually turns your video into 3D, meaning you can even move your camera on a regular video and relight it. So yeah, this sort of thing was just pure magic a couple of years ago.
Fantastic. Umesh?
Just a question. How many of you want to grow on Instagram or YouTube or any social media platform? So, all right. Now, good. Applause for you. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that I recently used that was very helpful, especially with YouTube analytics. So if you have made at least 10 videos or 20 videos, pull your YouTube analytics, submit it to any AI model of your choice, and then ask the AI, figure out what is working for my audience and what is not working for my audience, and generate ideas based on that. Because what's working for your audience, for your content, is going to be very different from what is actually trending. That's what it has really helped me with. Secondly, I wanted to start selling my products, and for that, I wanted to create a website. Now, as a designer, I'm very particular about how I want my backgrounds to be, the border width to be, the gradients to be, the colors to be, but I don't know anything about code. I'm absolute noob. I know nothing. So when you look at website templates, most of them are terrible if you want absolute best results. And if you are looking for someone to code, it's hard to find someone good. So I explained my design to AI, got it to code exactly a website from scratch. It did use a little bit of bickering back and forth, but it got the job done. So those were the two major things mostly that I did with AI. And thirdly, now that I remember it, as a content creator, it's impossible to respond to all of the comments, all of the queries that you have from your viewers and the people who buy your products, right? So I created a project where I explained everything about my product, what it offers, everything about the course that I'm selling, my voice, the way I respond, and now the AI responds to all of my customers, making everything easy for me. So those are the three major ways.
Phenomenal.
Making use of it.
That was a great answer. Actually, among the four of you, none of you need to increase your subscribers. I need to. So I'm going to do that this evening, okay? Achina, tell us.
So I've literally been using, I think, AI every step of the process, starting with ideating and scripting. I think it's been phenomenal when it comes to scripting and writing because all it needs is if you can give it enough data set, essentially, let's say 10 or 15 articles that you have personally written and feed it to Gemini and say, hey, can you study the way I have written my script? Can you emulate my voice, the way I write, the way I think, and ask Gemini to write on the same topic? It'll be able to do so. Once you've written the script, you can use the same tool to storyboard the script then. And you can ask it like, hey, I want to create a video on this. Once you've written the script, can you guide me on what the visuals of this video need to be? Can you help me storyboard it? So it'll also help you storyboard. And once that's done, once you're done editing your video, it'll also help you create the thumbnail. It'll also help you create titles. So I feel like all that the tool essentially requires is good prompting and enough context that, hey, this is what I need from you. This is what I want you to emulate or copy. This is what I need you to sound like. And yeah, the outputs have been phenomenal. A lot of the videos that we have done recently, it's essentially just been me sending voice notes again and again to Gemini on a project that it's already trained on with my scripts and saying that, hey, you already know how I write, you already know how I think, this is what I want to write about. And one more thing that's, it's a very simple trick, but I feel like the best way to use these tools is by spending a lot of time with them. And I always ask people, I'm like, okay, how is it that you are speaking to your friends? Are you a person who sends a lot of voice notes? Are you somebody who writes long messages? If you are somebody who's more comfortable with verbal communication, talk to these tools. Because I feel like a lot of people think that prompting is some rocket science, and the prompt needs to be like the way it needs to be structured needs to be 3 steps, 5 steps. I feel like it's as easy as just talking to a friend or talking to somebody who's as smart as you, just the way we're talking right now. So if you're able to send long enough voice notes or long enough messages with a lot of context about what you want from it, I feel like it'll help you write scripts, it can help you storyboard, it can help you create thumbnails, titles, anything you essentially want. Like, I keep joking with my teams that this tool, Gemini, is literally my most, tireless, hardworking team member in the team right now.
Lovely. I went for an AI skilling program and a sort of a training program. I think I learned more than that 2 days I spent there in this 20 minutes just now. A big round of applause to this group. I quickly want to move. I know this room is very curious to know what you guys think about where is the AI journey in India. And I think there's an extraordinary diversity here, and I think there's a lot for us to learn from how your reflections on where are we when it comes to unique Indian ways that AI is playing itself up for the users and for the creators, and how are you seeing that? And what are your observations of what's going on over here in India versus how is that unique and differentiated versus the rest of the world? Achina, could you start?
I think one of very specific use cases when it comes to India is India's it's a multilingual country. So content creators being able to put out the same content in different languages, that's been phenomenal. For example, one of our clients that we work with is an IPL team, and they reached out to us saying that, hey, we have this cricketer and we want this message to go out in 10 different languages across 10 different states. And before, that would have been impossible because it's very tough to get these cricketers time. But now with the AI tools and the audio models getting so good, with the wave-to-lip models getting so good, it took us less than a day. So I feel like just the ability to create content across different languages, that's been phenomenal.
I wish I could use AI for language translation. Since I'm using and teaching Photoshop, the translation isn't going as good. If I'm going to, let's say, go to File, Save As, it's saying, File mein jaake usko bacha le. So anyway, I'm not able to use it that way. But the way I'm seeing Indians using AI, apart from the memes, which is a completely different conversation, is you're not limited by the kind of gear that you're using. So you don't need to have a very expensive camera like that gentleman is using right there. You can use your phone. You can use an even 1.3 megapixel camera like you had 15 years ago and still come up with good footage because there's upscaling happening. There's background change happening. Even Google's technology is releasing something like that. So from my end, what I'm seeing especially is in India is the limiting factor in terms of gear is definitely going away.
Thank you. Raghav?
For the longest time, because of India having so many languages, and I didn't know to whom I wanted to make these videos for. So I would just avoid talking at all. So it would be mostly just visual content. But now I think I can just include as much dialogue as I want and have AI do all the translation and the lip reanimation and all of that, so that the viewer can watch it in their language.
Thank you. Brandon?
It's actually a really good point. So up until now, all of the content I've ever created, I try and have no language in it. My goal is to create universal content. I want everyone to be able to watch it and understand it. And the way we've achieved our storytelling is just through visual storytelling. Because no tools like we have today have ever existed, I think going back to our very first topic of, deeper storytelling and building that connection and relationship with audiences, there is only so deep and so far you can get without language. And to really get into the depth of a character, you need that missing element. So I'm very excited to start using all of these new tools so it can start building that deeper relationship. India is actually my biggest demographic across our audiences, which is why I'm very excited to be here. So I'm excited to build those deeper relationships with my Indian audience and start creating content in Hindi and the rest.
Lovely. Brandon, I'll actually throw the next question to you. A lot of this room and a lot of people in this event, in Waves, are very acutely aware of the need to upskill people and help them really kind of leapfrog into storytelling, leveraging the power of AI. What are your thoughts on how can we do that in scale, and how can we be more effective on really upskilling the common man to become a powerful storyteller?
Wow, what a great question. So even us up here, I think one thing that we could all agree on is, even as maybe the experts sitting here, I think we all feel like we are going at 1,000,000 miles per hour with 100 billion different new tools hitting us every day, and we're even struggling to keep up. I'd argue it's physically impossible for anyone to actually be up to date with where the world of AI is at. So the first point is, don't worry, it's okay. The good thing that's on our side is we've got so many incredible tech companies trying to dumb down the tools for us, like Google, and helping us along the way so we don't need to understand the really technical side. My advice for everyone would be curious. Have great ideas and work out what is the best way to achieve and get to that resolution. Don't chase AI for the sake of AI because everyone else is doing it at the moment. Work out the stories that you want to tell, and then ask yourselves the question, what is the best way to create it? And when I say ask yourself, I mean ask Gemini or GPT. But we're very lucky we're in a world right now where we've all got our personal tutors. One of my favorite things to do is to put some AirPods in, walk outside on the street, and just speak to GPT or Gemini for maybe an hour. I'll go, teach me something new. I'm getting quite deep in quantum entanglement at the moment, but I won't start on that one. And ask the questions that pique your curiosity, and I think that's genuinely the best way to learn at your own pace.
Beautiful. Raghav, I want to quickly jump to you. I follow your channel occasionally, and I always feel that you come through as an extraordinarily authentic voice. In this world of AI, there's always a lot of questions around, authenticity and responsibly doing all of things. How do you bridge the gap between staying authentic and leveraging the power of the toolkit?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very important question, because when it's so easy to make content, you're going to have a whole flood of people who are going to make it, even though they don't really care about making it, but simply because it's so easy, it's like, yeah, if it's that easy, I'm going to do it too. So I want to make sure that the human element in anything I do is going to be present. I want to use AI not to make my job easier, but I want to use it to make my job better. And I want AI to do the tasks that I didn't particularly enjoy doing all this while. There's lots of boring things that you got to do in VFX and all of that. So I want AI to focus on that so that I can do what I truly enjoy, and hopefully that comes across on screen to the audience.
Beautiful. And I want to now open up to the four of you on one question. Like, if you look at the industry, the tech industry, the venture capital industry, and the whole creator community, is there anything you feel needs to be done to further accelerate the adoption of the role of AI in storytelling? Achina, you want to start?
I feel like, when these tools came about, or when people started talking about AI, I feel like just because the word feels so heavy, artificial intelligence, people feel like it is something that's meant for the tech community, or it's meant for engineers, or people who understand a little bit of technology. But I feel like just helping people understand how easy it is to use these tools. For example, I have taught my cook how to use Gemini. All she needs to do is talk in her native language with the tool. So I feel like helping people understand how user-friendly these tools are, and helping them adapt into their day-to-day lives instead of specifically only and only using it for work. I do genuinely believe that that's how people will start using these tools more. The more they spend time with it, the more comfortable they'll get with it, and that's when they can also start using it for, more complex tasks. I feel like we need to start with the simpler stuff, and that's how they'll, yeah.
Beautiful. Unmesh?
I think we need to teach our elders more about AI. How many times has it been that your parents or your uncle has come to you? My mom usually comes to me and she's like, hey, look at this dress, look at this animal made up of gold. It's so beautiful, it's so wonderful. I have to tell my eye that this is AI. So, in other words, I have to tell my mom, listen, this is AI. The other day, my dad came in and he was so excited. There's this new biopic coming for Kishore Kumar, and Amir Khan is playing the role of that. I was like, there's nothing like that. And he said, I saw the trailer, I'm very sure I saw the trailer. And then when I saw the trailer, I noticed, oh my gosh, this is a fan-made AI trailer. So I think what's most important in these days for people who are not much aware of technology, they need to be trained as to what AI is so that we can lead into a more responsible world and people understand the difference between what is AI generated and what is real.
Great point. Raghav, do you feel the industry is doing enough of what Unmesh just said?
Not yet. There's a lot of excitement around what AI can do, but I think we'll eventually have to figure this out because otherwise it's going to just go out of control.
Brandon, your thoughts?
It's a hard question. Look, honestly, right now, I'm very grateful I've met so many incredible people that are trying to solve that exact question. The honest answer is I don't know. I know there's lots of very, very smart people all trying to work out the answer to that question, and thankfully, it's their job to do it and not mine. I'm very excited about the excitement of AI, and I'm very excited about how many people are adopting the tools. I think you've made a very good point. I actually managed to teach my granddad how to use Gemini, specifically so he would stop asking me how to use his smartphone. And I haven't had a single question since. So it does work and it is possible. But I think all in all, as much as we continue to chase these new tools and help and level up the content that we create and the stories that we tell, the most important thing as a whole is staying curious, constantly exploring these new tools and where they can take us, but remaining true to our core of working out how we can tell the best stories possible.
Beautiful. I'm going to open to the audience if you have one or two questions to ask, and while you go for it.
There's a bit of talk that we could probably regenerate or resuscitate actors of yore. We could talk about Gregory Peck and say a Dev Anand, a Jack Wayne and a James Dean, all acting together in the same movie. And they reconstruct it with the training data of all the films that they've made in the past. Who will then control that? What will be their dialogues? And who should be kind of steering that? It's a lot of cultural treasures which are dear to many countries. If AI, somebody sitting in some remote island puts together a movie, should that happen or how should it happen? Any thoughts on that, please?
I would say, there are many industries, the motion picture industry, the movie industry, they've been through this journey where, there is a piece of inspiration and that further inspires creativity. And I think we are in a very early stage of this entire AI journey. A lot of the protocols are getting written as we speak. Like I think what Brandon said right now, we've got very unique sort of cuts of the terms and conditions that each platform has. I think what you're asking is what could be sort of an umbrella on top of that. I would say that we probably haven't got there yet. It's such an early stage. But for all of these new technologies, a uniform, stable, predictable sort of set of standards are critical for the industry to go to the next level. And I think that's probably still work in progress. And good will come through very, very soon is what I would say. Wonderful. On that promising note, we are on time. I learned a lot. Thank you to each one of you. Have a great day.